Okay, there's no way that I can make this microphone not look obvious. Either stuck in my hair, I'm picking up all sorts of feedback, or I need like an invisible microphone, which I'm sure there's like a high-tech version one that's much smaller. Okay. Hello, Internet. If you are just joining for the first time, I'm Audrey, and this is the Fire and Fiber podcast. I am coming to you from my home on the Haldeman Tract in southwestern Ontario. I am a mother. I work in the healthcare field. I am an Indigenous woman. I am a knitter. I'm a social activist. This is primarily where I come to talk about that stuff. You'll also get quite a lot of social commentary, a bit of ADHD, and some really bad jokes if you stick around. So today I wanted to hop on and give a bit of a whip update. I'm trying really hard to go through my stash this year and work through what I have instead of buying, especially because I do thrift a lot of my yarn. And so I have all these weird quantities of yarn that I'm trying to use up that I just had to grab because they were a good deal or hard to find or whatever. So I'm going to try to go through my work in progress first. And then I am also going to talk about my latest cult-like obsession. And then I'm going to talk about the meat and potatoes of this video, which is me joining a cult. Get your magic bean juice and let's get into it. I also just want to point out how much I hate this microphone situation, but we're making it work. Okay, so story time. I grew up in California and Abercrombie and Hollister were big back then. I have always been sort of like I think even at my smallest, I was still kind of like in the extra large size 13, like just on the cusp of not being able to fit into straight sizes, but not being fully plus size. And so growing up, Abercrombie and Hollister were a lot of the times out of the realm of possibilities for me. But in recent years, Abercrombie in particular has really upped their game in terms of size inclusivity. It's not entirely inclusive, but I mean, at least I can shop there now, and really their quality. So I have a few pairs of their jeans. They're fantastic. And I have a few of their tops. I ordered a few more. So they've got these like really nice double layered tops. I have a few of their bodysuits too. So I'm just going to show you. I don't typically wear white because I'm stain and accident prone, but this is, I don't know if you can see it. This is one of their double layered shirts. It's kind of got like a boat neck on top, and then it's lower in the back. These are great. I feel like I feel a little bit more put together than in like a standard t-shirt, and they're very like containing. I don't feel like everything is whipping around. I'm not wearing a bra, but I am wearing like little nip covers just because I'm on the video. But yeah, these are great. So I got a few of these and I'm really enjoying them. So let's do whips. First up, this is the Checkerboard Checky Check Beanie. Checky Check something beanie. This is a checkerboard toque from Ocean Knits. I have finished it. This is in Lang. I'd have to check my labels. The Lang yarn. I did it in like the neon, hard to tell, but it's really like, there we go. The neon green and bright pink. I finished it. I am obviously having problems with the top. So I do need to go back in and fix that up a little bit, but let's try it on. Yeah, like once I get this like top situation sorted out, I think this is going to be really cute. Don't mind my hair. Anyways, I need to fix obviously the top because it kind of looks like a nipple, but that I'm all done, which I was really excited about. Let's see what else I have. I've got all my whips and all the things I want to show you in one bag, which is not a great idea. So let's put this off to the side. So the next work in progress I wanted to talk about is my Comeback Again cardigan. Patterns by Andrea Mowry, and I have chosen the Spin Cycle Verses in Sweet and Sour for my yarn, which I bought from the Knitting Loft in Toronto. I didn't actually go to the Knitting Loft, but it is on clearance on their website. And so this is one sleeve and two sleeves. This is such a funny pattern because you knit I think I've said this, you knit your pockets first, they're your gauge swatch, and then you knit your sleeves and you put them on holders and then you knit the body. So we'll see. I made my sleeves a little bit shorter because I always roll up my sleeves anyways. So why waste the yarn, right? And I've just started actually on the body. So I'm doing my ribbing right now. I think I have about 3 inches and then I move to the actual pattern of the bodies. I was really happy to be chugging along on this one. Other whip, still got a partial sock for my husband. Getting there eventually, I'm sure. Sorry, buddy. Okay, so I'm gonna put this off to the side. So the next work in progress, I've made probably the most progress on it in the past week or two. This is the Spring Serell by Wool and Pine, and I am knitting this in the Florange Apparel 100% superwash merino DK, and this is, I can't pick up the color. It's looking very minty, but I'm going to have to insert a photo because the lighting in here is not doing it justice. It is this like fluorescent almost, but like a cool green, not like a lime green. I don't know. It's so unique. I am now actually on the body. So I've split for my sleeves and I am working the purling on the body. I did not realize that on this pattern, the entire body is purled, which I politely said no thank you to. So I've just turned my work inside out and I'm knitting stockinette all the way down. I'm really, really excited about this one. I'll insert a photo too. I tried it on before I split for the sleeves and it was just this color and it looked really funny. It looked like a Victorian color, but it's so gorgeous. I am so excited about it, especially with this yarn choice. I'm like, chef's kiss. It's amazing. So hopefully I'll be done that soon. Other than that, when I was talking about my summer knitting plans, I had talked about this like little scrappy blanket thing I have going on, this like mitered square. I was like, I'm not going to show you that. But I pulled it out and I found it. So I've just been working with like little minis and scraps and leftovers. So that is always a fun little project. Yeah, and I haven't seen it for a while. So thought I'd bring that. It was really cute. And I love this bag. This bag is from Two Sticks NU, EWE, Canadian. I got it from Etsy, I think, but like snacks. Do you remember that video? The little girl's like, snacks. Can't tell if it's time for more coffee or I need to not have any more coffee. Okay. So I just got done finished saying that I was trying to not buy and use up my stash as much as possible, but I'm a big fat liar, pants on fire. I went to Mary Maxim in Paris last week or week before, and I picked up 2 of these Color Story yarn hand painted twins, which these were an incredible price. They were $8.99. I was like, there's no way they're priced this way. So I grabbed 2 of them. I should have grabbed more. I've not used Color Story yarn before, but this little rainbow cake, so pretty. This is a 75/25 merino nylon. So I got the base color rainbow. And then I also grabbed, I lost the label on the one. This one is called Tropical Punch, which is like, I think a little bit more like, which is still rainbowy, but I think it's a little bit more purple based. These are both, it's Color Story yarns are actually both from Estelle Yarns. Again, 75/25. So these I thought would be really cute for socks. Obviously, I've never done toe up socks. I've never done 2 at a time, but maybe if I'm feeling ambitious, I just thought these were a great like traveling project, especially because they're clearly already divided and you don't have to wind, split, wind, rewind to make socks that are matching when they're striped or variegated or whatever, or color repeating. So anyways, I'm super excited about those. I think I really do want to try to do toe up just because I've never done it. I really would like to see what this yarn looks like worked up as much as possible. I haven't looked on Ravelry to see any of the swatches yet or projects, but I would like to use as much of the range as possible and maybe make a bit of a taller sock for myself. So we'll see. Like I said, those were $8.99 plus HST, and I'd gone there for a needle. Like I didn't go to Mary Maxim. I didn't go to Mary Maxim to browse. Like I was like, I want a needle. I like using the Mindful collection. And so that is where I normally get my single needles. And so I went and grabbed one and then was like, I didn't go crazy. I didn't go balls to the wall like I normally do. And yeah, I think that's it for my whips. Okay, it's time. No, it's not. I almost forgot. So a couple weeks ago, I showed my stickers. I have been making these for a while. I had the idea bopping around in my head for a while. And it's kind of funny because I actually saw someone else make ones like this, which I'm not making anything proprietary. We all borrow from each other. And these are polymer clay. And so you can't get a cutter that no one's ever purchased before or will purchase after you. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. These are the cutest little quilt square polymer clay stitch holders. I don't know if that will come up. I am going to insert a photo as well. Are we getting it? So these are, like I said, little quilt squares. Look at my internet, just the internet. We're just like not doing this right now. What is going on there? Why internet? Having tech issues, internet issues as usual. Wi-Fi keeps dropping, but I made these cute little quilt square stitch markers. I've made pink, blue, orange, yellow, green, but I haven't put them on bindings. Anyways, I'm probably going to be posting those later on just to see if there's any interest. I made a few sets. Someone I work with was interested in them and she's a quilter, and so we did a bit of a trade. So she was happy to have some stitch markers. I think they're really cute. Anyways, so now we're going to get down to the goods. Okay. So in my quest to take better care of my mental health, one of the things that I am trying to do is not re-traumatize myself and expose myself to constant trauma with my true crime murder podcast documentary obsession. I'm trying to scale back on those. According to my therapist, I am addicted to feeling badly. So we're working on that. Mental health is important. But I was like, I need a new genre that I can binge. And I was trying to think like, what else am I interested in? You know what else I'm interested in? Cults. And I don't necessarily know that I'm interested in like the mind control aspect of it. I just am really fascinated by, not fascinated, I should say. I spend a lot of time and I have a lot of interest in the 60s and 70s, that sort of, I almost feel like it was this really interesting time period. So I feel like it was a really interesting time period for a lot of reasons, but something about that era, I just tend to really enjoy media about it, books, and just I think too, especially because a lot of things, I think part of my fascination too is that there are things that happened during those eras, obviously like bad things, but a lot of things that happened just wouldn't have taken off the same way now because of social media and our world has really expanded. And I don't like romanticize that decade or those decades or those sort of generations, but there's a lot of things going on that I thought were kind of interesting. So rather than obsessing over serial killers operating during that time, I've been consuming some media about mind control groups, partially because I do still listen to My Favorite Murder. And while again, I'm trying to not expose myself to so much trauma and re-traumatize myself, I've been listening to that podcast for so long, like since the beginning, that it just kind of feels like I'm hanging out with my funny friends more than binging on murder content. So anyways, that's all to say. There was an ad when I was listening to an episode a couple weeks ago that new to me, so that a show is joining their network. They have what's called the Exactly Right Network, where they have a whole bunch of podcasts and shows and things like that. And it is called Trust Me. And it's actually been on the air since I think 2020. So it is hosted by two women. Their names are Megan Elizabeth and Lola Blanc. And they are two people who live in LA, are in the entertainment industry, but they also survived cults, either whether they I think they both grew up in a cult, different cults. So they interview different people who have either expert knowledge on or have escaped these sort of like mind control groups. And anyways, like I said, do I need a hug? Do I need to I don't know. Do I need a hug? Probably. I definitely need more therapy. But so that was part of this whole funny play on words or like that. So that's part of the humor, I guess, behind the title of this episode. Obviously, I don't believe that coercive control or cults or anything like that are funny. These are very dangerous groups and people's lives are ruined. I just want to say that is, anyways, that's all to say. Obviously, I don't think these groups are funny, like they do horrible things. However, I have spent a lot of time reading books on them, podcasts, things like that. So I thought including joining a cult as the title of this video was kind of funny because I have been noticing that there are certain knitwear designers who have a cult-like following. Some of them I understand, some of them not so much. And even that, like a lot of people will hotly debate that. There was a post, I think by Knitpicks on Facebook yesterday, and I didn't see the actual post. I'm in a knitting group and someone had screen grabbed the group, like the little post, and people were commenting on it. And it was like, what are your controversial opinions about knitting? And it was really interesting because some of them I really understood and some of them I absolutely did not. Some of them I could really see myself on one side or the other. But all of this got me thinking about these sort of knitwear designers with cult status. I'm talking Petite Knit, which I think everyone on this podcast knows how I feel about that brand. Petite Knit, or Scandinavian designers in general, but particularly Petite Knit. The other one I was thinking about was Stephen West, especially when Stephen West does his knit alongs. People go bananas. People go absolutely ape shit for his designs. They're great. I have one of his books. They are really lovely. I'm not like a super shawl enthusiast, but I have knit a few of his patterns. His socks are also fantastic, like really, really amazing colorwork socks. The other one I think of who I personally stand is Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. It seems like she's got a really, really large cult following among knitters, myself included. I can't even say anything. I'm totally hooked. Boyla Knits, who I've not knit her patterns yet. That's Caitlin Hunter. Anyways, I was having these sort of thoughts about designers who are, have a cult following or culty. And I thought I would go a step further. And so when I say I joined a cult, what I mean is for the first time ever, I am going to knit a ranunculus. So part of this video, the other inspiration for this video, or I guess this project that I'm taking on, I was watching Black Cat Knit Co. She's I think she's American or Canadian. She definitely doesn't have an accent, so I'm just assuming she's not like she's an expat. She's a person living in Australia. I only just stumbled upon this video, so I haven't dove too deep into her YouTube. She's a yarn shop owner, and she talks about, she did a video called "Why is the Reunculus so popular?" And I was like, I want to know. I watched it. I really should find out her name. This is awful of me. I'm a horrible human. Okay, so let's backtrack. I watched a video called "Why the Reunculus is so popular." It was filmed from Atlanta at Black Cat Knit Co. She is a designer and yarn shop owner in New Zealand, not Australia, like I assumed. Anyways, she's knit 7 of the Renunculuses. Gillis, Lee. Anyways, she's knit 7 of them, and so I was like immediately intrigued. I remember I looked at one of the comments, like just the first comment that showed up when I was watching on my phone, and it said it was just a partial comment because I hadn't opened it, but someone had knit 17 Renunculi, so I was like, okay. And so she does a really great video. I'll link it or like put a little screen grab in where she talks about, I think she's got 7 reasons about why the Reunculus is such a popular pattern. And so she put the video up a couple of weeks ago, and I think at the time it had 29,000 projects. It's now at 29.5 when I looked yesterday. And obviously, this is due to a lot of people re-knitting or using the pattern to knit again. I'm someone who loves testing patterns and designs, and so I very rarely will use the same pattern twice, with the exception of like my own modified sock pattern, or I do the Hermione's everyday sock a lot. But when it comes to knitwear and garments, because they take so much time and energy, I don't typically replicate them. Not always, but for the most part. So I decided that I am going to knit a Reunculus. I bought the pattern yesterday. I've been watching a few different videos. Like I said, I watched the Black Cat Knit Co video, and then I have been kind of going through my stash trying to figure out what I am going to use to make it. So I wanted to show a few of my yarns. I'm not entirely committed to anything yet, so we'll see. Also kind of cool, but I'm pretty sure all of the yarns that I'm thinking of, all of them are thrifted. So the first I was thinking of using, I got this bag for $4.79 at the Goodwill. And I don't know if you can tell, this is the Serdar Silky Look. It is a DK, so I guess the whole shtick about the Reunculus pattern is you can knit it with whatever weight you want. The lighter weight the yarn, the looser the fabric, because it's knit on a 6mm needle, so a pretty big needle. And then you can use a heavier yarn like a DK or an Aran or worsted, and it'll give you more of a tighter knit fabric. So this is, I'm pretty sure this is synthetic. This is 93% acrylic and 7% nylon. It's kind of like a fun, it's discontinued, by the way. All my thrifted yarns are. And again, this is what happens when I buy discontinued yarn. I end up with or thrifted, I end up with like a random ass quantity that I'm trying to figure out how to use. So this is color 36. It's also difficult because normally I look on Ravelry at the yarns that I thrift to see what I can use. And there wasn't really a whole lot or in this colorway, but it's like a brown and white stripey. It's got that sort of like, I don't know if you can see that sort of like ropey chain weave to it. So I have enough of this that I'm pretty sure I can make a long sleeve, or at least a 3/4 length sleeve. I'm not worried about body length because I like a crop look anyways. So that's one option. The other option, this I got from Value Village for $7.99. I probably used a coupon. I have 3 skeins of this. This is technically a worsted weight, but it very much feels like Aran or DK even. This is the Lion Brand Date Night. I still left in the bag. I'm such a crazy person. This is in the color Hematite. So it's like a sparkly, like a slate. This I thought would be really fun. I have a few different balls of this. One is 28. Helped if I read it right. Set up. This one, like I said, it's weighted as a worsted. This one is 250 meters, and I have 3 of these, so 750 meters. I could probably make probably a long sleeve or 3/4 length sleeve. But anyways, this one is 82% acrylic, 18% polyester. I've got that as an option. Maybe I'll become one of those Reunculus obsessed people, and I'll just be able to use all of my yarn. Like doesn't matter which one I pick because I'm gonna make another one right after. The thinking for a short sleeve version, more Lion Brand Date Nights. I've never actually used this. That's really funny. And I have another color of it too. I have like a ice blue. I only have 2 skeins of this. This one is in Star Ruby. I got it from the Salvation Army thrift store for $3.99. And this is, like I said, like a ruby burgundy color with like the tinsel in it is pink. That's really cute. I only have 500 meters of that, so that one might be a t-shirt crop top, maybe a little bit more fitted. I don't know. I do also have some Baroco remix that I thrifted, which I thought would be really cute. However, I don't have enough of this, unfortunately. Oh, you know what? I do actually. So this is a DK weight, and I have 2 of these. This is in the color 6977. Showing up really blue here, but it is like more of a teal. I've used a remix tweed before, a Made You Look top from Ocean Knits that I made in like a cream color. I actually really like the remix and the remix light. So these ones I snagged from the Goodwill for, drum please, $2.99 each. That would be cute. I don't know. So I am kind of at a loss as to what to do. Have been really, really stressing the last, not stressing. I've been kind of, the last few weeks I've been trying to think of something that I wanted to make for the Charm City Unicorn Pink Along. Nothing has been inspiring me. I have been kind of in a knitting slump, working on projects. Like I'm getting through the projects that I have, but sometimes I feel like I need something to look forward to. And so I'm often researching patterns or other projects while I'm still like in the thick of it with one project or multiple in this case. So I sometimes use that as motivation. Like I'll get through this project and then I can start this next one, yada, yada. So I think I've kind of like lost my knitting mojo a little bit. I haven't really felt particularly inspired. So as much as I want to do the pink along, I'm not feeling anything. And I don't have garment quantities of anything pink, which is shocking because I love it. I have a lot of like purples and greens and blues right now when I'm looking at my wall. But the point is, I'm just not feeling inspired particularly. So the Charm City Unicorn, I watched they had like a kickoff video yesterday, like a live at noon. Watched part of it. I'm hoping that if I like start to look through the tags in the coming weeks on Instagram, I'll feel inspired. It does go until October 13th. It ends with the people who are stateside are going to be going to the Rhinebeck Festival and meet on the hill for a pink sure, as they're calling it, which I would love to go. And if things weren't as bad as they were, I would consider it. Obviously, as a Canadian, I'm not going to be traveling stateside anytime soon. However, I hope everyone has a ton of fun. I'm kind of bummed that I'm missing out. I would like going to Rhinebeck has been something that I wanted to do for quite a while, but it won't be this year or probably next year. Anyways, so I think that's all that I have right now. Like I said, I'm just trying to work through some of my works in progress and trying to clear out my stash as much as possible. I'm going to Calgary. So in August, I'm taking my kids to Calgary. We're going on a trip out west, I guess I should say. My best friend lives in Fernie, and so there isn't a direct flight to Fernie. There is, you can fly into Calgary, you can fly into other regional airports, but you still have to rent a car and drive. So I'm taking my kids just solo because my partner is a landscaper. He doesn't really have the ability to take any time off during the summer or gosh, really until November. So I am going to travel solo with my kids, which I'm actually really excited about. We're flying into Calgary. I got a really great deal on flights. And so I'm actually going to be spending about half the time in Calgary. I'm going to be spending the day at the beginning of the trip. And then also at the end of the trip, I got a hotel for the last full night that we're there. We don't fly out until like we take the red eye the following evening home, which is not going to be fun. However, it's direct and whatever. Again, cheap flights. Oh, I am planning on spending some days in Calgary. I did want to take them to the Hoodoos, which obviously is a bit outside of Calgary. I think it's about an hour and 45-minute drive from the airport. But if anyone is in the area and has any suggestions on what to do, like I said, I got a hotel in Calgary on the last official night we're there, but I'm also thinking about getting a like Airbnb or a cabin or something on the way to Fernie. I'm going to be honest, as a woman traveling solo with 2 kids, I don't super love the idea of being exposed like out in the rough a little bit. However, let me know if anyone lives in Calgary, has any recommendations, hotels, things like that. Drop them below. Also, if you have a personal vested interest and an emotional attachment to which yarn I choose for my Reunculus, please leave me a comment, drop it below. I don't know how to do a poll on here. I heard there are polls. I have no idea. I might look into it later today. I might put one up. You can do it in a short. Anyways, if you think you have a suggestion of what I should do for my very first Reunculus, please let me know below. We are in the middle of a heat wave here in Ontario. I don't know about everyone else, probably the same thing because climate change is real and it's horrible. But try to stay cool, make sure you're hydrated. If you are a SRI or SNRI taker like myself, make sure you do This is extra, extra important because our bodies are not able to regulate heat properly with these medications. If you are an ADHD or someone who is on stimulants, certain stimulants like Vyvanse also do the same thing. So we have a double whammy. That's all to say, take care of yourself, hydrate, make sure you eat breakfast, which is my reminder that I haven't yet. Have a great day and happy knitting. I'll see you soon.